Next up with us on the hotline, young driver we think a lot of, who's got a part-time job at the moment, driving a truck at Turner Motorsports. Blake Feese, his career best, a 4th Friday night at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we're excited about it. I was thrilled for you Friday night. You overcame a lot of adversity to get to that 4th spot. Talk us through the night. You didn't qualify particularly well, but, man, you guys took great advantage of some circumstances.
Well, the truck was probably a lot better than where I qualified it. I was a little bit conservative, and most of the day was having trouble getting through 1 and 2 and being able to carry any speed coming up off 2 there. We were okay in 3 and 4. But Doug and the guys made some big changes after practice, and it felt better qualifying. I just didn't get a fast lap. And then when the green flag dropped, we started passing trucks, and it was the best the truck had been all day. And I thought we were going to be able to have a good finish. And then I got in the back of the 15 and knocked the right front fender off it. And the guys put a fender on it, and it was still fast. So it was a fun night.
Blake, I got to tell you something. Watch that race. You guys looked like you were in serious trouble. That little deal there when you got into the back of the 15 could have been a lot worse than it was. You have a tire go down. You tear the fender off. You must have really thought your night was over with. What did guys do to keep you in the game? Because they had to talk you through it, I would imagine.
Tim Feese was my spotter. He did a great job all night. And he keeps me pumped up. I don't know. We didn't really talk about it, and nobody really got down. Sitting in the truck while they were putting a fender on it, I really thought that I had just ruined our day. And you hate to have that happen when you've got a fast truck and you know that you can have a solid night. I don't want to make a mistake and throw a night away. And when I just had a big run on the 15 there, and I was going to go to the inside, and I misjudged a little, and he came down a little, and luckily we both were able to keep him going straight. So that worked out. And then coming off 4 for the checkered flag, our right front went down. So we couldn't have made it another lap, and everything worked out for us.
So all in all, 4th place finish sends you away from Atlanta pretty darn happy as you head back home to Illinois. And we've been talking about jobs here on the show. Blake Feese is with us on the hotline. Drove the Turner Motorsports truck Friday night at Atlanta to a great 4th place finish. Really played his cards very well. You're a part-time guy there. Does that get you a full-time ride in that truck?
Really, I try to just take it one day at a time. We're looking at next year. The goal is to be full-time with Turner Motorsports next year in the Truck Series. This is an audition, basically. Mr. Turner gave me an opportunity here to run the second half of the year in his 32 truck in great equipment with solid people around me. And the way I understand it is if I produce, I get to keep racing. So I just have to worry about that. We go to Kentucky here in a few weeks. That's my next race. And Steve Arpin is going to be in the truck in Chicago in 2 weeks. So he and I work great together, and hopefully we'll be teammates next year.
Blake, a question I have for you, and once again, I watched that whole thing, and you were able to stay up front for quite a while. And I know those other guys were pitting, and you get up there, and it's circumstance. I understand all of that. But you were able to kind of hang on. We did see Clint, and I think Kyle Busch get you there towards the end. But the question is, how much difference is it running up front versus running back in the pack?
Well, it's a lot different. Running back in the back, a lot of things can happen, and you're dealing with dirty air. And I'm learning all of this as we go here. And then on that last run there, when we were up front, that's the first time we've been up front this year, so that was nice. So let me run up front a few more times, and I'll be able to answer the question better. It was kind of surprising to me, but as we're doing this, I'm probably my best at the end of the race because I've figured more of it out. And we got to run the top in 1 and 2 and the bottom in 3 and 4 and could really make some pretty decent lap times. And we were staying up there. And then Clint and Kyle were coming on tires, and we were just trying to hold them off as long as possible. It really would have been nice to finish second because we weren't going to catch Hornaday, and a 1-2 finish with Hornaday would be awful special. He has done a lot for me over the last 5-6 years, and we've spent a lot of time together, and he's like family. So that would have been special, but finishing fourth after the day that we had and just being our third race this year, it's great for the AccuDoc Solutions team and everybody at Turner Motorsports.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to see you get that result on Friday night. Blake Feese is with us on the hotline, drove the 32 truck for Turner Motorsports at Atlanta, had a great run. They worked their way up through the field nicely. Blake used a lot of smarts and a lot of strategy. They come home with a fourth-place finish in that 200-miler. You talked about producing, gets you a chance to continue in the truck, and that you'll share things with Steve Arpin there over the last run of this season, last 8 weeks of the season coming up. And for you, I was thinking about this as I was watching you Friday night, thinking, this must be incredibly cool, considering what you've gone through. You're used to running up front in open-wheel cars. You've had trouble staying in one of these vehicles, a truck or nationwide car. Did you kind of have to pinch yourself after the checkered flag and say, man, I can do this. I can still get the job done and do a great job here? Or was it, were you disappointed that you didn't do better?
No, there was no disappointment. I personally needed that run and that result just for exactly what you just said. My own self-confidence. The only way you keep your confidence up is by racing. And over the last few years, when I didn't get to race a lot because we were trying to find the next opportunity and trying to get a ride, your confidence just drains because you're not refilling your cup with any good runs or finishes. And we struggled so much in practice earlier in the day that you get down, or I got down and wasn't sure. I was really my confidence had never been that low. And then all of a sudden, 130 laps later, we're finished fourth and have Cup drivers surrounding us on the finishing order, and the way the race played out, being able to run the top at Atlanta and slide the thing around, and I made a couple mistakes, but we battled back, and I got out of the truck. It was a huge relief because I finally, once again, felt like, okay, I can do this. We can drive these things. It's going to be a struggle, and it's not going to be easy, but we can come back in a few weeks, and I think we can do this again. So I'm learning a lot, and it was a big relief and a big confidence booster Friday night for myself.
Blake, how big a deal is it to go out there and try to, and once again, you were running second. You had those other guys on the way with new tires. Your tires pretty much worn out. How tough is it to stay out there and run a decent speed with those tires that are absolutely gone?
One time I ran the thing into 3 and about knocked the fence down. And the Feedaway had to remind me about that. The tires are just old, and you've got to back the corner up. When I did that, I started getting faster, and just as the old saying goes, slow down to go fast. And so the more I kind of backed the corner up, I just had to try to be smooth and not make any mistakes. I brushed the wall in 1 and 2 a couple times, but didn't seem to bother us too much. So just had to stay focused there. And coming off 4, it gets sideways every once in a while, and looking back on it, it was a lot of fun. At the time when you're sideways, it wasn't so much fun because I wanted to just get to the finish and bring the thing home. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Fido knows plenty about knocking the wall down. I'm just teasing there, but he's.
That's my boy.
He's had that experience personally a few times too, but that's fine. No, Timmy's a great guy. And it was cool that you have a guy like that in your corner to spot for you, because he does know what this is all about very intimately, not that many years ago. So you got to, to have somebody on the radio you can talk to who's been in that seat, that's got to be a big plus for you.
Oh, it's huge. When I first started coming down from Illinois, I was just throwing stuff in my trunk, and I'd come down and stay for a week and just trying to meet people and catch a break. This was back when Tim was racing the Supercuts car for Fitz Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And I ran a couple races for that team and Armando. And so I spent a lot of time around Tim, and we got to be really close friends. And so all this time later, to have him be able to spot for me and the close relationship we have, he can get on me and tell me what I'm doing wrong, and it works. I don't get mad at him. I listen, and he's like a big brother, and he has a lot of experience, and he was a big part of Friday night, really all day, and especially being able to execute Friday night. It really pays off having him up there for us.
All right, good deal. Blake, congratulations again. All kidding aside, I'm thrilled for you. I think it's a great way to have things come to an end on Friday night there in Atlanta. I know you've got a few more drives lined up with the Turner truck this fall, and we'll look forward to talking to you again, seeing you notch off some more good finishes in that 32.
Thank you, guys. I always enjoy talking to you.